Hello, everybody. I gotta move my camera over here so I'm looking at you properly. Go back over here for right out the gate. Hello, Hound Servant. Yeah, I'm pretty poor right now. Yeah. So I was pretty impressed with myself on creating that thumbnail, if I'm going to be honest. I loved it, and I thought I was hilarious. Oh, hello. Hi, Brad. Hi, everybody. I'm glad everybody caught me. Yeah, I don't know. There's Bruce. I don't know how impressive I'm going to be here, but we're going to try. So, anyway. Oh, hello. Yeah, I cracked myself up. That's all at the thumbnail because I think it's pretty funny. It's just how I feel about it. So okay, sorry. I wanted to have a plan. I wanted to have a plan so bad. I wanted to have a really written out, detailed plan. But I kind of got into the weeds with all of this stuff yesterday and today, and didn't come up with a plan. So I'm just kind of going to go over everything superficially and maybe get into some details because you know me, I love a good rant. And then I'm not sure. I forgot the plan. I didn't even make one. I wanted to make one so bad, but I mean, it's fine. I did ask for some questions that people want answered. Here's the deal. Okay, like right out the gate. For those of you who do not know, Ron and Jan Owens were scheduled for, their house was scheduled for a foreclosure auction on May 26th. And the Friday before that was a holiday weekend. That was a Tuesday. Oops. Yes, fake Laura Owen says I always have a plan. So the Friday before that, at the very last minute of the day, in my opinion, it was like 3:30 in the afternoon, I think. Jan went down apparently physically to the bankruptcy court and manually filed a petition. So not online, but filed a petition. And it was still entered into the system. I think she thought it wouldn't be probably, but it was, of course, still entered into the system. So we knew about it. And then we had to wait for the actual filings to come in, much to our disappointment. In general, the filings are lacking. Let's put it that way. There are some basic things that could have been done to copy paste information even, and that wasn't done. Oh, sorry. So yeah, Jan filed for Jan and Ron. Jan signed Ron's name. It's fine, whatever. Filed for a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So if nobody remembers, the last time they filed in August of 2025, it was a Chapter 13. And the differences between 13 and 11 are complex. Really, in general, Chapter 11 is an extremely complex type of bankruptcy because it has all different kinds of avenues of how it can go, because it is designed for kind of like this catch-all of individual debtors who have a very high amount of debt, and also large corporations. I mean, like, I'm going to show my Michigan here, but like Kmart filed for Chapter 11. So, might have been 12, actually. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they filed Chapter 11. Big corporations file for Chapter 11, and so can individuals. 11 was probably the more appropriate filing for them because they do have such a high amount of debt. And there are limitations on Chapter 13. I don't know why it wasn't called out before in that case, unless it was just, I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to speculate on things that didn't happen. Real quick. So Fletcher Boy asked, does Jan have a limited power of attorney? The thing is, she didn't indicate that in the signing. So that's weird, right? Usually when you sign as a power of attorney for somebody, you will state that in the actual signature. You will say, Big Tiff Dog as attorney in fact for IT Goatee. And you don't actually sign that person's name. So if I'm a power of attorney for IT Goatee, I would sign my name, and then I would write next to it as attorney in fact for IT Goatee. And I would not sign IT Goatee's name. I would just write it out because you're not supposed to sign that person's name. So let's just go back. Holy cow, we already have, I'm on the Padlet, of course, because you can't live without it. I'll just show that really quickly so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about, where she very clearly signed for him. 1 second, share screen. Share. So as you guys, let's see if I can embiggen, can see here. Brad says I'm not dead yet. Fun fact, if IT Goatee were in fact deceased, which I don't even like that assumption, but anyway, I'm just making a point here. My power of attorney would cease to exist. It is no longer effective upon death. So anyway, so yeah, it's not Ron's signature. I'm telling you that right now. That is not Ron's signature. It's just not. It actually maybe even, now that I'm looking at it closer, maybe it looks closer to Laura's handwriting. It doesn't seem to be similar to how she signed his name when she had power of attorney. So hey guys, you want to go into a immediate rabbit hole? Let's look at something really quickly here. I am going to look at the old power of attorney from, come on, 2023. Oh, I'll look at it a different way. Hold on a second. Because now that I look at it closer, immediately I was like, oh, that's Jan's signature. But now, like, I look at it with my actual glasses so that I can see. And I look at it on my screen. It is not the same as Jan's, but it could be. Oh, I meant to do, yeah, DMT is fine. Hold on here, guys. Let's see. Yeah, maybe. Ugh, God, I hate this. This is so bad. Okay. Yeah, I guess it is her handwriting. Okay, hold on. I'll share this screen real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. How about you? Stop. Share. I wish there was a way I could do this side by side. But if we look at this one where she actually did have power of attorney, that's her handwriting. That's the same. It's the same as the other. So let's just quash that theory right now. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know why Ron didn't sign. There is no indication of there being a power of attorney on this document. There should be. I don't know. It definitely shouldn't be just his signature. And if you'll notice, which is also slightly hilarious, her email address is wrong. Just like her email address is wrong. Oh God, these people are so exhausting. Okay. So I don't see, here's the thing. So Sheeb's asked, so Ron would have had to be with her or no? I think, this is what I think, because what's supposed to happen and what really happens a lot of the time are two different things, right? So what I believe happened is Jan went down there with her sob story and, oh my gosh, I have to file this today because I'm going to lose my house tomorrow or the next business day, whatever. And please, please, please take this and I'll fix everything that I need to fix, right? I don't know how it got filed without his legitimate signature. I do know that they are requiring that she file documents with his signature. So yeah. Oh no. So wait, hold on, I lost it. No, it's 100% forged. Like, it's not his signature. It is not his signature. It is not his signature. So it's just whether or not she had any kind of proof when she was standing there at the window to indicate that she had the authority to do that. I don't know. Hello, everybody. I'm missing everybody. Hello. Yeah, Gengi told her what to do. I don't know. I'm leaving him alone for a minute because I think he needs to be left alone for a minute by everybody, not like especially Laura and her family. But yeah, it's not his signature. I have his signature on another document. It doesn't matter. It's not his signature. But anyway, here I am already distracted by signatures. So hello, Flux. Wallace Juno says was probably Greg. Probably. So I was talking about the bankruptcy and the kind of bankruptcy they filed. Hello, Winks. They filed a Chapter 11. Chapter 11 is, like I said, can be used for purely individuals, but it's more frequently for people who have maybe personal debt and business debt that intertwines with each other. So they have to figure out a way to make that work in order to, it's a restructuring plan. It's supposed to be a restructuring plan, very similar to Chapter 13. But inside of it, you still have, you have the LLC stuff that has to be sorted out, right? Typically because, especially in smaller LLCs, there is, personal guarantees made on commercial debt. We saw that in their Chapter 13 filing. We saw two accounts that were absolutely commercial accounts. One was for Liz Max, and I can't remember the other one off the top of my head. But there was a Liz Max credit card. I want to say it was like $26,000. So there is some corporate stuff to deal with on that end. And that all needs to be sorted out. You have to account for everything. Okay, so again, right out the gate, frustrating. We see that they requested to be able to pay their filing fee in installments. So they didn't even like bring a check or whatever to pay the fee or cash. I don't even know how you would do it, but they didn't pay the fee when they filed the case. And and the well, yeah, this indicates to us that they did not have an attorney's assistance with this, at least officially, an attorney's assistance with this filing, because typically when you have an attorney involved, when you file bankruptcy, the attorney, because they're an officer of the court, I don't know the reason, doesn't matter, requires that you pay that fee up front, and then they in turn pay it when they file the filing for you on your behalf, when they file the application on your behalf. So that is almost a red flag that they didn't have an attorney that helped them. Bruce says, I don't always file government documents, but when I do, I forget to pay the filing fee. Oh, they're crazy. Like, so, okay, how much is the filing fee? That's a good question. It's all of these figures. Ooh, hello. Totaled. And I think it's like 1728 altogether. Let's do that math real quick. I hadn't done it yet, but let's see. 80 plus, nope, 80 plus 600. I don't do head math. Sorry. 458. 1738. I was close. I was $10 off. 1738. I only know that number very closely because I went into a rabbit hole looking at cases that our Queen Jennifer had been involved in. And I saw a lot of cases that were filed that cost, good question, IB asks, $17,000 or $1,700, and it is $1,728. Sorry, correction, $1,738 is how much it costs. More. So, good question. How they get away with this? The same way Laura does. The system is, it's weird. The system is simultaneously designed against you and for you, right? Like there are safeguards in place for people who need these services, right? And they give people the benefit of the doubt, typically. At first glance, I should say. That's not to say it's not complex and hard to navigate sometimes. I will say that in terms of cases you have to file, the bankruptcy system has a ton of resources available for people to access to help them navigate. I don't think anybody should navigate in a Chapter 11 bankruptcy on their own at all. It is off the charts, too complex. So Julie Moore asked, is it unusual to allow filing without paying? I don't think it's unusual, especially on a pro se filing and non-attorney filing. They will require a payment plan, which they did. So, I mean, it behooves them to pay these fees on or before the dates that they are due. We've got the first $80 to be paid. I mean, they should have just couldn't pay the $80. Okay, anyway, and yes, Julie says, without paying our courts, they are once again abusing the system. Yes, I don't disagree with that, because the problem is that if this case is dismissed because they didn't file the fee, you still had resources and such that were utilized at zero cost, honestly, at zero cost. I saw a question up here. Hold on. Yeah. So Rob asks, if you can't afford to pay the filing fee, how can you afford to go on a 2-week vacation to another state? Just interested in anyone's opinion. Yeah, it's good. It's a good question. There's a lot of things I'm curious about um, in terms of that. And so, again, I think they gave them the benefit of the doubt due to the timing, due to everything else, because it does, to answer the initial question, it does pause the foreclosure action, at least for a period of time. Typically, I think automatically on your second filing, it's 30 days that you get in order to, pause your foreclosure action. Okay. So I just want to go back really quickly to the filing. Oh, don't want to forget this. So I have not figured out the best way to do this, but I don't know how to put this. We have friends, a family friend, who has experienced a very late stage pregnancy loss. It's bad. The thing that you don't think about when that happens is that you don't actually have maternity leave after something like that. I mean, it depends on your employment contract and all of that stuff, but you could very well likely lose your maternity leave that you might otherwise get. It's complicated, let's put it that way. This person is not ready to return to work before the day that they planned on returning. And of course, that is a burden financially, right? Yeah, PCB Amy said one of my best friends lost her baby at 38 weeks and she still had to deliver him. It was heartbreaking. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. It's awful. So we're doing a fundraiser, and my thought is that if anybody was interested in donating, if you could message me. I don't want to put my PayPal information up here on a stream, but if you guys, if whoever would be willing to donate, and I mean it, you have to, please don't feel obligated. It's just if you would like to. I figured if anybody in our community would understand that it would be a lot of all of us. But anyway, if anybody would like to donate, if you could send me a message on Instagram or Reddit. I'm super bad at checking messages on Reddit, but I'll be good about it, I promise. I can give you my PayPal information, and then my plan is to after I get it, then I'm going to just give the money right to the organization that's collecting for her. And I'm trying not to sound sketchy about it also, but I don't want to give up too much private information. So, if that makes sense. So, if you don't want to, if you don't feel comfortable, that's fine. If anybody donates and wants to see proof that I turned it over to where it's supposed to go, happy to give it. But if anybody would like to donate, if you couldn't, yeah, I mean, some people are friends with me on Discord or can message me on Discord too. But if you're, I know I really brought the chat down hard. Sorry, guys, but if anybody's willing to do that, I would appreciate it, and then you could let me know that way. In any way you can direct message me is acceptable to me. Sorry, I'm trying to actually get to my channel so I can have the comments open while I'm on here. Okay, so Hold on, guys. Sorry. Yeah, so Michelle says, I would think it would still qualify for FMLA. Yeah, and if the doctor submits a medical reason. And it does, but it's weird in that it doesn't qualify for the maternity pay leave, I guess, anymore. And some companies have specific payouts for that, and there's all different kinds of plans that people are. I mean, some people just don't have maternity leave, period. Like, that's, I wouldn't say some, probably I would guess a majority of people in our country don't have that. So that's the complication they're running into, is dealing with it and trying to deal with life at the same time. And yeah, it's awful. I see everybody's comments. It's absolutely awful. And yeah, we don't have great systems. Jupiter Jane said that in Canada, if you lose a baby 20 weeks or after, you still get 15 weeks maternity. If prior to 20 weeks, you can get 26 weeks sick leave. Yeah. See, it's really super sad. So anyway, if anybody is interested in donating to that, let me know. You know what? Jen asked to put, what great, see, this is why I need people, because I'm really not bright sometimes. Yes, Jen, could you put my Big Tiff Dog chat email in the chat? And I might be able to pin it then, and then you guys can email me. That'd be better. Email is much better, actually. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I'm not bright. It's fine. Okay. So, here, now let me see if I can pin that message. I think I can if I do it here. Pin. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Well, at least here. Okay. So I pinned that message. And now pins show at the bottom, which is dumb, but EDB says YouTube's working on all the dumb things they did that we want them to undo. Okay. Sorry. Back to reality. Chapter 11. Chapter 11, again, can become very complex because it's like one of those, I think of it like, think of it like water, of like rivers, right? When you see like at the top of a mountain and you see all these different channels of water that go down that are rivers, basically on a map, and they can go in all these different directions. That's what chapter 11 is to me in my brain. It's super complex, and it can go so many different ways. So no thanks in K says, are we poor yet? LMAO. You missed the front part of my stream where I was very impressed with my own thumbnail. Like, it cracked me up. So thank you for acknowledging that. Anyway, okay, so I have some questions that I promised I would try to get to, and we're just going to, so let's go first. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to go over it in general, and then I'll go over the bankruptcy filing in general, and then I will use my words, maybe. I will answer questions. Wow. Okay. So they filed their on the 22nd, they filed this chapter 11 case. It was stamped as received at 3:23 p.m. And assigned a case number. Pretty much, I think, like, the first parts of it are very similar, right, to the prior filings. It indicates it's a chapter 11. How will you pay the fee? Oh, this is funny. I didn't even know this part. Wow. I will pay the entire fee when I file my petition. Will you? Okay. Anyway, obviously that didn't happen. I guarantee, so it says right here, please check with the clerk's office in your local court for more details about how to pay. So I guarantee she didn't check on how first, or maybe even played dumb on purpose. But got there and was like, I can't pay with a credit card or a debit card or whatever. I didn't know. Yeah, Deb says they are shady people who play the system and they make me sick. I don't disagree with you, Debbie. I don't know why. I always wait. Oh, that's weird. Okay, unless I'm blind. Oh, I am blind. Debbie, sorry. Oh, Deb Peterson was right under you. Sorry. No wonder I was confused. Oh, Deb Peterson said, how someone who gets over 20K a month can claim bankruptcy is beyond me. I mean, yes and no. Things happen, right? Like you could be a legit person who started a business that didn't do well by no means of your own, like no cause of yours, but ended up causing you financial distress. I just watched, so I don't know if you guys know that on Hulu, the show Betrayal is a jump off from a Glass podcast of the same name, I believe. And so it's basically like taking the stories from the podcast and turning them into a little mini documentary style, with each episode being a different case. So, hello, Bacon Bears. So, Bruce says, like, if you stole $200,000 worth of Star Wars Legos, yeah, something like that, because that case is so complex. I can't even begin to talk about it, but wow. So, anyway, there was a case that I watched last night where the woman's husband, like basically was involved in this whole mortgage fraud scheme. And so people who invested with him and did stuff with him and whatnot, they would have lost money by no fault of their own, and they could see a reason why they might, be in a situation where they would have to file bankruptcy to protect certain assets like their homes and other exemptions. So yeah. So I can yes and no, I guess. These particular jerks, no. But if you start stopping people from doing this, then eventually you're going to stop somebody who really needed it. And that's kind of my opinion on it. So, we go through our basic questions. But oh, good point. See, I knew there was, like, again, things happen in a certain way that you might not expect the process you might not expect it to be part of the process, but it's part of the process. So anyway, Roxanne says, I'm way late to the party and I'm starting at the beginning, just popping in as an attorney to say that they verify signatures at the meeting of creditors and not at the clerk's office when filing. That makes sense. So Bacon Bear says, I'm wondering if I can just file bankruptcy a bunch of times and never pay my bills and then use my money for fun shit. I mean, sure. But eventually that's going to catch up to you. It's not going to be a fun time eventually. Maybe. Who knows with these jerks, right? They seem to be slimy enough to slip through. So going back to Roxanne real quick, I am at best extremely uneducated about all of this. Okay. So let's be clear about that. I know everybody likes to call me an expert or at least assume I have knowledge. I do have knowledge, so that's true. But there's so much that I don't know. There's more that I don't know than I do, especially when it comes to a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and especially when it's not connected to how the house is attached, because most of my foreclosure work that I did would involve bankruptcies with foreclosure actions, right? So, sorry, I'm trying to, yeah, I don't believe you. I see the Owens would face zero consequences for this. I mean, yeah, like I said, you can make it last a long time. You can drag it out a long time. And it's really gross. I don't know. It's really good. That's my official description of it. Bacon Bear says Bruce is on our mortgage. Mine too. Oh wait, no, I don't have one. Never mind. Sorry. If I had one, I just got one. Bruce is on it. He doesn't know. There we go. That's what I'm going with. So yeah, Ajad says, so glad Jennifer's back on the case. You know, she saw it and said, hey, I'm already invested. Let's go. Yeah. So I was going to go in order, but screw it. The fun thing about this is that if you all will remember, Jennifer Guyamo was involved in Laura's bankruptcy, which is not typical for Chapter 7 bankruptcy case of that size, but yeah. And so within 48 hours of this filing, we see Ms. Giammo file a notice of appearance in this case. Now, there's a couple things about that. I do believe it's administrative. I don't believe that it was a coincidence by any stretch of the imagination that she is the person that was assigned to this, because I'm sure, just as any court would have a bunch of different attorneys that would be involved in such cases, and I don't think it was an accident that she pulled the straw on this case to be assigned to it. It's absolutely beautiful. I can't say I don't love it. I love it 100%. And no thanks in cases. What membership level gets you on mortgages? Get you mortgages? That's a good question. Yeah, she filed her appearance super fast. Although I was a little bummed to find out, so I said I went down a rabbit hole about cases she's been involved in, and whoo, there are doozies out there. If you guys think this stuff is interesting, some of the cases I looked at were also interesting. But the filing of appearance on most of them was pretty quick, which was a little disappointing, but it's fine. We're still going to go with the fact that we have our faith and trust in her to do what we know she's capable of doing, right? I'm not going to let my brain itch on some of these questions like it would have before. Okay. I don't even think Jan knows. Okay, let's stop at this one, actually. Are you filing Chapter 11? And are you filing as a small business debtor under the definition in the bankruptcy code? And the answer here is no. And I highly doubt that Jan understood that code or even read it, but that's fine. Okay. So, yeah. Lying? What? They asked some funny questions. Hazardous materials. I don't know. Have you seen the casita? Okay. This is about credit counseling. Boring. What kind of debts do you have? Mostly consumer debts. not filing Chapter 7. So then we go to line 18. Okay, sorry. How many creditors do you have? 1 to 49. I thought it was 50 to 99, but anyway. And how much do you estimate your assets to be worth? Between $1 million, $1 and $10 million. This is an accurate number. This is an appropriate checkbox. I'm not as good as Bacon Bears at highlighting stuff, so bear with me here. Anywho, the number that applies to them is this number. So your assets are everything you own, everything that's in your name. And that is regardless of whether or not there are liens attached to it. You don't only claim the equity, you claim the entire asset. And then you take your assets and you deduct your liabilities from those, and you see the, that's where you would figure out the equity and see whether or not it's exempt. But these are the proper checkboxes for this filing. I will give her that and just that. Then we have the BS signature, which is still incomplete. And, oh, this is fun. Okay, so this is a disclosure to a debtor that says, listen, this is a big fucking deal, okay? So maybe don't screw it up. Maybe don't commit fraud. Maybe don't lie to us. Maybe give us all the information that you know we need. So bankruptcy fraud is a serious crime. You could be fined and imprisoned. Okay? So really quickly, Bacon Bear says, I'm currently vacuuming. Laura Owens could never. LMAO. True story. Yeah, Bruce says, hold me like I'm bankrupt. Oh my God. Oh, Auntie, I'm carrying my loaner. I'm having the babies. Listen, this is a big fucking deal. Is how I'm going to start my emails from now on, right? Ooh, okay. So, if you decide to file without an attorney, the court expects you to follow the rules as if you hired an attorney. The court will not treat you differently because you are filing for yourself. To be successful, you must be familiar with the United States Bankruptcy Code. They couldn't even fill out these forms, these very basic, fillable, explanative forms, let alone being familiar with bankruptcy code. Like, I wouldn't file a Chapter 11 on my own. I wouldn't. Okay, anyway. Anywho, are you aware that filing for bankruptcy is a serious action with long-term financial and legal consequences? Yes. Are you aware that bankruptcy fraud is a serious crime and that if your bankruptcy forms are inaccurate or incomplete, you could be fined or imprisoned? Yes. Did you pay or agree to pay someone who is not an attorney to help you fill out the forms? No. Yeah, so Fletcher Boy says, Jan better get an attorney. I don't disagree. And we're going to talk about why, especially in a second. So Jill asks, why do you think they always make so many mistakes on their paperwork, Tiff? Do you think it's intentional to waste time and look like they're old and confused, or do you think they're just stupid? I don't know. It could be both. I think that they use certain biases in their favor, but also I don't think they know how to fill this stuff out, which is funny to me only because, like, some of the stuff could have been copy and pasted from the previous filing. Yeah. Jen says, Jen was listening for part of it, but yeah, she says she can confirm that Jan's email address in the filing is wrong. I mean, like, duh, come on. Yeah. Bruce makes a good point. They need a bankruptcy attorney, but if they were smart enough to get a bankruptcy attorney, they would have been smart enough to get a financial advisor 35 years ago. Yeah, bingo. Bingo. Okay, so let's go to schedules. So, God, this makes my brain itch so much. Okay, here's the deal. There are questions I'm not going to be able to answer. Because it's the information is wrong. And so if the information is wrong, I can't even tell you what it should be because I don't know, number one, but also like every variation changes the answer. Like if they meant to put A and they put B, then, C happens. And if it should have been B and instead it was A and then E happens, it's like there's too much to even explain almost what's wrong with it. So, yeah. Okay. Anyway, sorry. So we've got a list of the real estate that they have, their personal property, and that we'll go over that, and the total of those two things. So imagine you're 80 years old and you made millions of dollars over your lifetime. And every single thing you own, including every penny you have, adds up to $11,300. I don't know. Good point, Fletcher boy. Oops. Chapter 11 is for high net worth individuals. Will the court hold Ron and Jan to the same standard of candor to the court as an attorney? Probably not. Sadly, probably not. Although I do have full faith and trust in our Queen Jennifer. So, yeah. So, anyway, we've got our assets, we've got our liabilities, which are just our secured creditors. We don't have anything listed for unsecured claims. This is what I'm saying. Okay. They literally left off $700,000, about approximately a little less than $700,000 worth of debt in this filing. Like they couldn't even just copy paste from the prior filing and fix it later. Sorry. Oh no. So here's the thing. So Mal says, Mal A24 says, it would have been so funny if Jan listed the storage in New Mexico after claiming she didn't know the address. She actually did claim storage in the first filing, the chapter 13. She did claim that what she owed Mark and Dale was storage. So yeah, she did. She's wild. So then we've got the income here, which again, don't get me started, is different somehow from the previous filing, but not in the way you would think. First of all, Fletcher Boy says $700K in unsecured debt is insane. Yes, it is insane. And then Bacon Bears asks, you think they will withdraw this one too? So here's the deal. With Chapter 11, it's not as easy. It's not that easy. You can't just not file. Like, this is fucking serious, right? That's what we just said. You can't just say, oh, never mind. I got what I wanted out of it, and now I'm good. Like there are consequences. There are consequences. I do feel okay. So financial crimes are not pursued as much as I would like them to be. We've talked about this. I'm very open about it. I think that a financial crime can be just as devastating as a punch in the face. It's it'll break some people. So it disappoints me that financial crimes are not treated as seriously as they should be. That being said, I do believe that this particular set of individuals has stepped into a find out phase of their fuckery. You can only push the envelope so far. Before a line is drawn, in my opinion. That being said, who fucking knows? It could be dismissed, and like Rob says, no consequences, right? So who knows? Good point. I don't know how to say your name. I have watched Bacon Bears. Put it on the screen. Please go vegan. That's right. Haha. My brain worked in my favor just now. Because I always want to say, please gov Egan. And like, is there a Governor Egan? Anywho, that's how my brain works. Stevie, that's right, Stevie. She said we call him Stevie. So financial crimes are not treated as seriously because the people with the money and committing the crimes are the same ones making the laws in many cases. Yeah. But I mean, I'm talking about as simple as the crimes that I saw, like the mortgage fraud crimes that I saw that were blatant mortgage fraud crimes. They're just not treated seriously. Like, so if you committed mortgage fraud and that loan was ultimately foreclosed on, the mortgage fraud doesn't get pursued typically. It just doesn't. Because they've gotten the asset back. And it costs them money. And people have to get involved, and there's liability and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't have faith in it, but at the same time I do. I can't explain that feeling, but it's just a vibe. Okay. So we go over through our income, and then we go through our property. They're using a number that oh yeah, thank you. Bruce says Bill Egan from Alaska. I felt like there was. Okay. Chris Winkley says you'll heal pretty quickly from bodily harm. Financial ruin can last for years. And yeah, and I mean bodily harm can cause emotional and mental trauma too. But yeah, the lasting effect of financial crime can be serious. And Linguini J5U, hate YouTube anymore with their stupid namings conventions. Banks don't generally want to own the property, is expensive to maintain. So fun fact, I'm going to go off track here. And some of you have heard this before. One of the biggest problems with the foreclosure boom that we had back in the early aughts, as somebody said recently, and I was like, I'm stealing that because I forgot that's how you could say it, was that banks were typically under their standard operating procedure was to get rid of the asset as fast as possible. So house got foreclosed, get it ready, and I mean minimally ready, and get it off our books, because it's not so much an issue now, but then it was. The longer you carry the asset, the less money you have available for lending, and there used to be a percentage that you had to meet. It was a whole big complicated algorithm, or not algorithm, but calculation. So they couldn't hold these houses on their books for very long because they had to be able to loan them money out again. So they'd have to sell it real fast. So it was sell it fast. And when the foreclosure boom happened and we saw so many houses going into foreclosure, that the market became flooded with them, then we saw these toxic assets being created, basically. So now all these lenders had loans on or mortgages on properties that they had inadvertently devalued. Because if you're accepting the quickest cash offers on, let's say, 10 houses in a neighborhood, you're immediately driving down the value of any other house in that neighborhood that you have mortgage on. And it just plummets, and that's how you burst a bubble. So it took them a minute to catch on to the fact that they maybe should be getting correct values for their properties. But yeah, that's their mindset, is to get rid of it fast. So yeah, anyway, their house, they're going off of I think it was just the two mortgage companies that agreed the value was 1.5 million. I don't know what the house is worth. I don't know. Valuations have never been my thing. I could give you a window of what I think, and I think 1.5 is in the window. But that's it. That's as far as I could go on it. They claim they do not have any cars, vans, trucks, tractors, sport utility vehicles, or motorcycles, no watercraft, aircraft, motorhomes, ATVs, blah, 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 and the like. Here we go, where they, I think, did copy paste some of the stuff from the last filing with their household furnishings, TV, cell phones, computer. No collectibles. I, again, find that this, see, okay, people were saying, don't tell them what they did wrong because they're going to learn from it. Well, they didn't learn from the first time I told them what they did wrong, so I don't see them learning now. I also said, let the fucking house go. If you care about your daughter and your grandchildren, let the fucking house go. But no, we didn't. Okay. So, the thing that cracks me up about this is that we have a man who was on the radio for 40 years, who interviewed very important people for a good portion of that time. And he has zero collectibles, no memorabilia, nothing. Wild to me. Oh, yeah, and let's not, oh, good point. Tootsie's Tidbit says, no collectibles, but suing your brother for all the artwork. Right. All that stuff that her mom wanted her to have. Okay, sorry. I get distracted. They don't have any shotguns or pistols. That's a good thing. Clothing, yes. $400 worth of clothing. Really, really, really. I mean, I'm not a clothes horse, but 2 people, that means, okay, $200 per person. Sure. At least it doesn't say mostly used, because that was hilarious in Laura's filing. Mostly used. Well, no shit, Sherlock. That's what it's supposed to be. Okay. And wedding rings, both rings worth $500 total. Sure. Yeah, so Zoe says, I wonder if the collectibles from Ron's Prayer were in a storage unit they failed to pay. Well, I mean, we know they didn't pay the one in San Francisco. I don't know if they've made an agreement with them. I don't know if it's been auctioned. Who knows the status of it right now. But there was absolutely stuff in that storage unit. There just was. Anyway. Okay. 7 horses retired. $1,000, 1 dog. 7 horses. 7 horses on, I did the math on the property. It's like a quarter of an acre that those horses have to walk on. It's gross. But anyway, walk on, exercise on, do anything. And as they've said, they don't have any equipment to haul them around. So that's the most exercise they get, is a quarter acre of land. I mean, I can't imagine putting 7 horses on my property, and it's almost 2 acres. That's gross to me. Here's our total life's worth, $5,900. You know, they don't like it when you underestimate shit. It gives them a reason to look at you. Just be honest. God. Okay, sorry. And then we've got our Bank of America accounts here, two of which are identical to what Laura included in her filing. That's interesting. And they all have the same exact balances as they did on August 14th, 2025. Huh. Wild. And we have three businesses listed here. Quartet Farms, no percentage of ownership shown. Why would we be honest, right? And thorough. Nobody Told Me LLC and Liz Max Investments LLC. We do not mention Good Luck Shop, which did have a claim in their prior filing, or I should say the state of Arizona had a claim in their prior filing for unpaid taxes, technically. So that's interesting. No bonds, no pension or retirement accounts, which, so they don't mean as pension that he gets paid out of. They mean like if you have an investment type of pension that you receive money from. I don't know what kind of pension he has, but yeah. No thanks. MK says this is why my B of A savings interest rate is garbage. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be real blunt right now for a second. Most banks are garbage, and you should belong to a credit union, in my opinion. Okay, so literally, we just have nothing. We have nothing else. Nothing else. We have no annuities, no trusts. Which this is funny because she does have trusts interest. Well, I guess the trust is closed. I don't know. Anyway, licenses. Ugh. No professional licenses. This is all, again, basically similar stuff. I'm going to skip on past because I didn't want to get too far in the weeds with each document here. Do you have any other kind of property of any kind you did not already list? No. 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 Okay. I don't believe it. Yeah. Tony Marie says credit union past 40 years. I've been a credit union member my entire life. Love it. So personal property, $5,900. Cash money on hand, $5,400. I'm sure that these are like right at what you're allowed to have, right? Oh, house servant. Aren't they on the daughter's deed somehow, or just daughter on theirs? Just the daughter and her husband are on theirs. And then Deb asks, are all of the rental properties they claim to have gone? Yeah, it was one and it's gone. It was repossessed. Yeah. So here, a PCB, Amy says, I remember a credit union here giving people money that had accounts during the pandemic. I have been meaning to get one since then. I will say that, honestly, the credit union helped me, when our kids were young, we struggled financially, and we just ended up basically mostly on paying cash for everything that we needed, like other than a house or a car. But for the most part, we paid cash for everything. We did not use credit wisely, and because we didn't use credit wisely, and because we had financial difficulties, our credit scores sucked. But our credit union just always stuck with us and always gave us an opportunity, and they really helped us turn our credit scores around. It's been over a decade now, but it's credit unions are impressive. I won't say otherwise. Yeah, they do a lot of skip credit union. So Linguini says our credit union also offered free loan 2 month skip a pay payment during the pandemic. So did ours. It was helpful. And so yeah, I did credit unions, and I will always say that. I do think there is some purpose for banks too. But yeah, like my credit union doesn't have as good of products for like credit cards and such with benefits as banks would have or do have. So yeah, so Stir Crazy says the amount of money they have lost or wasted is ridiculous. It's sad. It really is. It's sad. Okay, so this is the schedule of property that they are claiming is exempt. So you're allowed to claim a certain amount of your home as exempt from seizure, basically. And they're basically, I'm sure this is the max they're allowed to claim as an exemption. It doesn't really come into play here because the value is about 1.5 million. The mortgage debt on it, I think, is at 1.9 right now. So they don't have equity to claim, but if they did, this is how much they're claiming. Okay. Yeah, of all those things, it's fine. That's interesting. Are you claiming a homestead exemption of more than 214,000? Yes. Did you acquire the property covered by the exemption within 1,215 days before you filed the case? No. I think that's accurate answer, but I got to do math real quick here. Hold on. 1215. 3.5 years. 3 years, 3 months. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. Debbie Bay Area says, where are they hiding the 22,000 monthly pension, Social Security? It goes directly into their account. Should be easily to find and look at the trail. Yeah, great question. I would love to know where that money is going. I know where it's not going, and I'll talk about that in a second. Ida, be an okay Dame. First of all, I've always loved that name. I just do. Like, I don't know why, but it makes me smile. Says, I don't really understand credit scores. We don't have that same way in Denmark. Credit scores are a joke. I've been through this before. When we paid our house off, our score dropped 50 points. How ridiculous. Seems like it should not be that. Whatever. Okay. And then Tony says, I bet Jennifer Giammo is having a field day with this filing. Oh, yeah. I believe that. Crazy. Okay. Then we've got our second. So we've got our first. What was that? The first mortgage? Where did it go? What? Creditors who have claims against secured property. Why does she have it listed this way? Oh, okay. She put the second mortgage first. Didn't list the fact that Sarah and Christian are on it, but did say at least one of the debtors and another. Okay. Then this first mortgage, which so like $200,000 behind because the loan was, and this is just simple math real quick. The loan was $1,590,000 and we owe $1,690,000. So you're behind in interest and fees alone and negative escrow $200,000. And yeah, Jan and Ron have been flushing money due to their own spending habits. Not all because of Laura agreed. they had bad habits to begin with. This is just in furtherance of it. Well, Little Ducky says paying vehicle off screws your credit too. Yup, mine is all medical bills. And yeah, that happens to so many people. And again, that is where I say that if they had gone along the lines of we had this medical debt, we tried to recover from it, we were unable to recover from it, and we're making this honest effort to restart our lives and get out from under this medical debt, because sadly that's what a lot of cases end up like in bankruptcy court, is medical debt. Yes, Please Go Vegan says medical debt is the number one cause of bankruptcy in the US. I have not fact checked that, but I absolutely believe it's true. So but they just didn't do what they could have done to make it legitimate. No logic here, Jupiter James. I know, it makes my brain itch not to logic. Okay. Yeah, so Timmy the dog says they don't have medical debt for what they show, right? There's some, not much, a fraction, tiny percentage. I would say definitely less than 10%, more like, I would say, let's say 2%. Bacon Bears, thanks for a reminder. There will be no logic. Yeah. Okay. So, and yeah, most people will stop paying unsecured debt and auto loans before they stop paying the mortgage. Absolutely. Great strategy. Do it if you have to. Because you have to take care of your emergent needs first. Food, housing. There's a third one I can't think of. Food and housing. Those are my two big ones, right? Health, I guess. Okay, so this is all they're saying is their total debt, period. Don't ask about any other kind of debt. We don't have any other kind of debt. Zero. We fucking idiots. What? I know says this, and I'm still like right here. I'm sorry. Do any creditors have non-priority unsecured claims against you? Well, the state of Arizona might disagree with this answer here, unless you've paid it, which I doubt. Oh, can we go back to the always pay mortgages and rent real quick here? I want to go off track again. Sorry. If you find yourselves in a situation where you are unable to pay your mortgage, it applies to rent too in some situations. There are resources available. So, with rent, there are resources available. There are community programs and stuff. But with mortgages, lenders are required to mitigate loss post foreclosure boom, right? So if you find yourself in a situation where you're unable to pay and you're unable to, for the foreseeable future, get yourself out of a hole that you've found yourself in, contact your mortgage company. I can't stress that enough. Contact your mortgage company, because they do have programs that will help you, can help you, do help you. And they are for people who have found themselves in an unexpected situation that will resolve. And it may take a while to resolve, but it will eventually resolve. It's not so much for people like the Owens, but it's definitely important for you to contact them. I understand to my core the feeling of not wanting to do that, of ignoring something. I really get it. I was saying the other day that I think my job ruined me for making phone calls, because I hate making phone calls now. I used to say I was going to die on hold. But you'll feel so much better. You can make it work out, and it will relieve a lot of things that you didn't even realize it could, right? And I think everybody should try to at least, should attempt to mitigate for their own situation if they can. And if you can't, you can, once you go through the process, you can work out agreements like cash for keys and stuff if you do end up having to like leave the house. So please make the phone call. It's imperative that you make the phone call to, here, K-Dub says, call them immediately. Yes. The plans, the programs in place have parameters, and they're complex, and you'll have to submit a lot of paperwork. That's just the fact of it. But it'll be 10 times better if you do that. And mortgage companies do not want to foreclose. It is expensive for them. It is not a moneymaker for them by any means. And they want to, in addition to being required to mitigate, they actually do want to mitigate. And they have, like I said, programs available to them that allow them to do so. So please, please, please talk to them. Okay. No debt. So no priority claims, no non-priority claims, 0, 0, 0. Don't look behind the curtain. Bacon Boot says, 25 years ago, we couldn't pay the mortgage. The mortgage company totally worked with us, and we kept the home, not having to make a payment for 1 year. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so, and the programs that are available now have just like exponentially grown. It's underutilized, in my opinion. Okay, so sorry, I'm reading and reading. I'm reading 2 screens. Okay. The executory contracts and unexpired leases, whatever, I don't know. Okay. I guess if like you had, actually, I don't even guess. If you were a landlord and you had leases, you had properties that were rented out. And that's kind of where I guess we'll put this information. Do you have co-debtors? Yes. Is it your spouse? Yes. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, we do have co-debtors listed. I guess I missed this. I apologize. I missed where she stated these 2 loans were also indebted by Sarah and Christian. Oh, can those plans negatively impact you? To the they actually, okay. I'm going to try to give an answer. So yes and no, but more no than yes. How's that for an answer? See why I stumbled on it? If you get into a program that allows you to, this is such a great question, Bacon Bears. If you have, okay, so let's say you're behind on your mortgage 2 months, right? And you call them and you say, I need help. I'm behind 2 payments. I don't have that money right now. I'm not going to have that money for a while. I need help. And the lender comes back and says, okay, we can reduce your payment for 6 months, and then we can gradually bring it back up, and then we can spread out what you're behind on over a longer period of time to help you. And this is just like in general a way they would work it, right? We can, spread that out over time, or maybe even forgive it over time if, there's a plan where they can even forgive what you're behind on. They just restructure your loan going forward. So anyway, if you get into that kind of program, it helps you recover so much faster, because then immediately you start paying on time again, right? So it would be the opposite effect, right? It would impact you, but in a positive way, because you'd get right back on track. And it's really easier to recover from late payments than people realize. Hi, Lauren. How are you, Lauren? Nice to see you, Lauren. For people who don't know, we had an awesome good time in the Discord last weekend, and everybody was big Tiff Dog for a day, and it was fun. And Lauren's not going to talk about the pool video or the pool picture, okay? So let's not talk about that. I might just post it. Maybe. I did declare that somewhere, I think. Oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Also, I texted Lauren this earlier, but I should say it on the stream officially. Yes, we hope that Lauren's mom is okay. I broke my leg pretty badly and was a complete pain in the ass for a year and a half. I cannot imagine breaking your back. I just can't. And no, nobody wants to hear about the pool picture, okay, Lauren? Nobody wants to hear about it. Oh, I know. It was so funny. Vicky Bear says, how are you streaming in the chat at the same time? Yeah. So, real quick backstory. One night when I was gonna stream with Lauren, she asked me for a picture to put in the thumbnail, and I jokingly sent her a picture of me at the pool with literally goggles and a swim cap on. And it is as obnoxious as you would think it looks. It looks worse. So Lauren has legit not bribery, what's the word? She has leverage over me right now. Let's just say that. Okay. Now, I again will try not to go completely sideways over let's clarify. Hound servant, just the goggles and the cap. Nope. I was wearing a swimsuit. And it was still a ridiculous picture. Blackmail, thank you. I knew I didn't have the right word. Blackmail material, yes, for sure. Maybe that'll be my reward for people who donate, right? If you donate, then maybe I'll send you the blackmail picture. How about that? Does that sound good? I think I'm willing to do that. I might think about it for a second, but I think I might be willing to do that. Because that sounds fun. Okay, so let's go back here to where we were. Okay. Lauren says, "Pool picture is very tasteful." Tasteful and fashionable profile of Ted. Silicone cap, very stylish. The see-through clear goggles make the eyes pop. You guys, they're so like Roger Rabbit. It's the worst picture. Okay. Okay. All right. So anyway, let's go back. I hope I wasn't showing everybody my email just now. Okay, thank God. I'm not that dumb. All right. So for those that just joined my, it was not pinned anymore. What happened? I had a message pinned to the chat. I'll put it in the description of the video too, my email address, if anybody wants to email me about getting donating to my friend. Okay, so Bruce says, Big Tip Dog is Jessica Rabbit. What is going on? No, more like Roger Rabbit. Thank you very much. Definitely Roger Rabbit. voice and all. Okay. Your income. I love this. Employed, occupation, retired. Like, oh, thank you, Zoe. Zoe says it's still pinned in my chat. Good. It's not of mine, but I believe you, and I think that's good. Okay. Yeah, oh God. It's wrong. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's wrong. Do I think it's the crime of the century that's wrong right here? No. But it's irritating, right? Employed and their occupation is retired. Like, can't you say not employed, not employed, not employed is the answer. Pretty sure that's what it said on the chapter 13. Whatever. And then we don't have any income listed here because I don't think technically you're supposed to put your Social Security income here. I don't know. But they do eventually put it on a different form somewhere. Here we go. Yeah. So this is where it gets weird. Net income from rental property and from operating a business. There's a form attached here too. And it says they get $250 a month from operating a business. So they're saying that's the total net monthly income. And you're supposed to attach a statement for each property and business showing gross receipts, ordinary and necessary business expenses, and the total monthly net income. But they didn't. Kato says my income is gross too. I don't have an income anymore, so yeah, it's gross. It's gross. Let's see if I repin it, if this will. Oh, no. I'm going to just replace pinned message and see. I don't know. For me, it went away, so I just want to make sure everybody can see it. So my email is in there again. If you want to donate to my friend, a friend of our family who experienced a very late stage pregnancy loss, please let me know and I'll send you my PayPal. So, yeah. Anyway, so this is interesting because these numbers, the Social Security here, is the exact same number that was on the 2025 filing. I find that odd. I'm pretty sure that there was a cost of living increase for 2026 that should be accounted for here. And then our pension and retirement income, making a total, including this 250, because these numbers are all the same except for that, of $21,333 a month. Bacon bears. If you send an email to me at the email address pinned in my chat, or even if you want to send me an Instagram or a Discord message, I'll send you the link. It is going to be a link to my PayPal because I am handling it privately, but I will provide proof that I actually transferred it to who it belongs to. I just don't want to blast that information out into the public webs. Okay, so yeah. 21,333. Think about that. You have a house you can't afford, costs you $14,400 a month. And I think it's more now actually, but let's just say that because I just changed the payment. But anywho, so your housing alone is like 70% of your income, which is not financially stable. When do you cut and run? When do you cut and run? I don't know. Expenses. We've been through these. They're dumb. I do believe, Jen can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I do believe everything on here is the same as it was last time. It's funny for Ran and John. That's their names going forward. Ran and John. John and Ran. Wow. That's what happens to my brain sometimes, guys. I swear to God, I hate it. Ron and Jan claim to only spend $900 a month for food and housekeeping supplies on a their part of the property is, I don't know, 10 times the footprint of the casita. and they have 2 people to cover, but it's $900. But Laura's filing said $1,800. So cracks me up. Oh gosh. Oh, so Tony, I have a friend of our family who experienced a very late pregnancy loss, and they're going through some rough times financially because of it, obviously, and so we're doing a fundraiser. And if you are so inclined and able, if you would email me or send me a message on Instagram or somewhere else, I'll send you the information on how to donate. The Jen says, I haven't had a chance to compare it yet. Doesn't that sound wild? But it's true. Like there's so much that it almost feels like you're glossing over some of it. I do believe that this is very on par with what we saw before. Life insurance, health insurance. I feel like these are all similar to what they were before. Although that can't be because maybe it is. Here, let's find out. Actually, you know what? Let's not guess. Let's find out because it's going to make my brain itch if we don't. August 2025. Such a clean, nice copy of a bankruptcy filing by an attorney, professional. But, yeah, their income at that time was $21,083. Their expenses, that can't be right. Where'd it go? This is dumb. Hold on. 21. Oh, yeah. It's not the same. Duh. Because we left our animal maintenance of 7 horses and a dog at $100 a month. I spend $100 a month easily on my one dog, but okay. But yeah, the $2,400 a month for in-home care assistance. Love to see the receipts on that. I think Queen is gonna want to see receipts on that. Jen says I need a spreadsheet. Yeah, same. And we probably, yeah. Spreadsheet. I love spreadsheets. They make things easier to see. Okay. Statement of financial affairs. Mary, like some of this is very similar. Well, excuse me. Not only similar to what we've seen before, but standard and boring stuff. Okay, so this is new. Like I said, this business income is new. This is something we didn't report before. So it's interesting. That's all. $12,500. What a weird thing to not include on your prior bankruptcy filing that an attorney totally helped you complete. Jupiter Janes. I heard Bruce hates spreadsheets, loves feet, and can't swim. Caregivers are not cheap. No, I do not think it's an official caregiver we're talking about here. But yeah, no, they are not. Yeah, that's the thing. They did just file to delay the foreclosure. And the biggest red flag pointing towards that is that they did not list any other debt. Like if you wanted to write a book about how to get the federal government to look at you harder, this would be in the book for sure. So I'm going to breeze on past some of this stuff. It just says Chase was suing them again. So sorry, Chase. Sorry, Charlie. Not feeling super bad for you though, because you gave these people money. And then like some other things. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna breeze on past this real quickly here. And then this is talking about their businesses. Again, we're not listening. Good luck shop. So funny how like selective information is excluded. Okay. Now let's go back. So schedules, current monthly income. This is a funny one. You're supposed to list the top 20 creditors who have the largest unsecured claims against you who are not insiders. Insiders are relatives, family, friends. Relatives and family are the same thing, Tiff. It's fine. Ranjon. Relatives, friends, and maybe even business partners who they don't want you to include here. So like anybody else. We've got, this is again a document that is supposed to list your 20 largest unsecured creditors. Okay? Okay? Unsecured creditors. Senlar. Senlar is the mortgage. Select portfolio is the mortgage. Okay, I've got 2 debts here. Are there any other debts here? Nope. Not a 1. Lazy ass shit. Okay, here's the fun part. Oh, yeah. They didn't fill out a form they need to fill out. That's boring stuff. It's fine. The deficiency notice is just telling them they have to file the form acknowledging that they don't have an attorney on this case, which they kind of already did, but there's especially a specific form for it too. They set the conference, which is like the meeting of creditors, and that's that. Then we see enter Queen Jennifer. Notice of appearance. Please take notice of the appearance of the undersigned counsel, Jennifer A. Jamo, as counsel for the United States trustee in the above caption matter. Basically saying I need to be notified of everything that happens in this case, which is standard. I don't think it's standard that Jennifer was assigned to this, but it's standard. Okay. Then we have a notice of appearance for one of the mortgage companies. Oh, what's this? An amendment to the mailing list. Oh, are they saying that maybe more people need to be notified about this? Let's look. That the mailing list, I, Ronald Stephen Owens and Elizabeth Naylor, do hereby certify under penalty of perjury that the mailing list consisting of 6 pages is complete and consistent with the debtor's schedules. Well, first of all, it's not consistent with the debtor's schedules, okay? First of all, it's not. Second of all, it's not fucking 6 pages. Okay. So we've got a list here of lenders and creditors. It's lacking. It does not include all of the lenders and creditors. I don't know the number, but well, just again, for example, this document alone is 3 pages, not 6. Plus the declaration. My brain is going to itch out of my head. Thank you for your concern. Jupiter Jane says, don't logic too hard, Tiff. Your brain is going to itch right out of your head. Yes. Zoe, it's consistent that it's inconsistent. So true. Oh yeah, no. I think the brother is on here. Is he? Yeah. There's like, I mean, American Express, Arizona State, Treasury, the Moore Law Group. That's got to be somebody representing one of their creditors, because that's different. Okay, anyway. And then they've got this notice that they didn't pay their fee, and you really got to pay your fee. They didn't, so they filed this amendment to the mailing list and didn't pay the fee to file the amendment. Shocking. Okay. Yeah, I don't think so. As the Moore Law Group, I think it's just maybe one of the creditors' lawyers. There's a lot of creditors with lawyers. Okay, so we see some claims that have been filed. Thank you to CM for these. My account for the bankruptcy court, I have to make a phone call to fix it, and I don't want to make a phone call, so I haven't fixed it. Oh, okay. First of all, this has always been my stance. Always logic harder, and if you have to, logic harder. I love logic so much, but it just can't with these people. Oh, House of Owens says practice debt collection law. So yeah, collection agent. That doesn't surprise me at all. I don't know for who, because they didn't file a schedule that coincides with it. But anyway, moving on. So we see Capital One and Resurgent. These are two claims that we did see in the previous filing. Nothing new about them. I think they're actually the exact same down to the penny. However, here is something different. Buzzwords for an ultramoron. I like it. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Thank you, Jen. There's a link to the Padlet, and also it is in the description of the video. I basically have the same links that I throw in every one, just because it's usually I'm talking about stuff that is Padlet related, or Volo or whatnot, but mostly Padlet, just because it's where I know everything's at. Okay, so Arizona Public Service is the utility service for where they live. So this would be for, like, I'm assuming lights. I don't know how water works there. And trash pickup. I don't know if it's all one bill. I would imagine it probably is. So anyway, what we see here is that their claim is now $5,595.02, which is higher than it was before. I am really getting irritated with myself here. Hold on. Let me look at what it was before. APS was actually higher than I thought, to be honest. Come on, where's my calculator? Oh, wow. Okay, so the total was $4,992.88. I don't know how this would have worked in terms of utility stuff, because usually when you file for a bankruptcy, here's what happens on a utility bill. The utility company will basically write off the last, like, everything leading up to the day you filed, and they'll create a brand new account for what you Oh, hey, I just thought of something. Hold on. It says last four digits of debtor's account number, 0134. And in the other filing, that does not match. So this might be like new charges. Hold on a second. Okay, backing up. Beep, beep, backing up. I've got to go look at something. Where is the claims register for? Come on, where's the Arizona claim? Start public service. Here we go. Let me just pick one. So that was 0006 and 4391. It's a new account. So they had a new account created for their utilities, okay? Since their last bankruptcy was dismissed, I guess, I'm assuming, I don't know. And that account has racked up. Yeah, because, okay, sorry. So what would happen is your utility would like basically charge off that last bill and open a new account, and you would start fresh as of the next day or the day of that you filed. So you'd basically get a wash on anything that was past due. So the new account would have all new charges from the next, like from the day they filed their last bankruptcy till now, which is now up to $5,595. Wow. Yeah. So skip trace. I tried to find out. I know what skip trace means. I tried to find out what the hell that would mean in this context of a utility bill, and I don't know. If somebody finds out, educate me. It's weird that's so. I like the only thing I can think of maybe is if their last account, since their bankruptcy didn't go through, if a portion of it was applied to the new account, reattached. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird use of language on, because I don't know what skip trace means. So I don't know. That's the brand new filing we saw, I think, today. Let me see. Was it today or yesterday? Today. Yeah. I mean, this is just wild, right? Like we see, as we saw before, return payment. Like we see that. Deposit sync adjustment. Oh, so they must have had a deposit. Oh my God. These people are a hot mess. So my point is, yeah, okay, hold on a second. A skip trace and the daughter, maybe. Yeah, but that's a lot of money for a skip trace, right? Maybe it's not. I don't know. Oh, bacon boots. That's gonna get me. APS or SRP for power, City of Scottsdale for trash and water, Southwest for gas. See, Scottsdale was on their last filing. Oh, the Airbnb that was foreclosed on it and LLC. Yeah, it could be that. So in the last case, there were two APS claims filed, two accounts, and we just assumed that one of those was for the Airbnb because it didn't make sense unless they had 2 meters on the house, which could happen, but not likely. So, especially not likely here because they would have filed 2 claims again. So I don't know. It could be. What was actually that could be it because hold on a minute. The smaller claim the smaller APS claim on the last filing was for $1,800. So with interest and fees, yeah, maybe $2,300. That would make sense. Oh, see, I'm messing up with my highlighting. Yeah, I thought there might be another meter for the casita, but I actually know that I don't see two claims filed by APS this time. I don't think there is. Yeah. So Tony says someone should call animal control for a welfare check. That's been done. It's not gonna change anything. It's just not. They're not gonna do anything about it. Unfortunately, it's been done. It's sad, but there's not much they're gonna do, because at the end of the day, they consider them property, and it's very difficult to get property removed from people, sadly. So yeah. So these cancellations, in my opinion, are return payments. These people are a hot mess. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are 3 different account numbers for the 3 APS proof of claims. And if one of them, if in fact in the prior filing, if it had potentially been the fact that there was a different account / meter, which even if they had 2 meters, it'd still probably come under one bill. But let's pretend that it's 2 meters and 2 bills. We would have seen the same thing in this case, the same type of claim. There would have been 2 meters, 2 bills. But we didn't see that here. So I'm thinking it's one was for sure the Airbnb. This kind of solidifies that for me, I guess. So in Michigan, this is funny. In Michigan, people have different meters for all kinds of things, like their water pumps and like all kinds of things. They separate their meters out because of the rate differences. Um, okay, hold on, sorry. Just reading chat. Okay, so now, well, yeah. Oh, let's talk about that. So, they said that Becca has thought says, I'm wondering if Ron has medical equipment because I'm shocked they haven't shut it off. Yeah, I believe, and Boots can for sure maybe chime in here, but I believe because of it being Arizona and because of age and illness, that it is likely that they have some sort of flag on file about not having their electricity shut off. I don't know what happened. Like, obviously, it can't carry on forever, but I'm sure that there is a plan in place for that, and that they have taken advantage of it. Like, yeah, thank you. I knew she'd come through. APS has power protection for elderly people. Yeah. And they definitely qualify for that. They're elderly, if nothing else. If not sick and disabled, they're elderly. So, sorry, I'm having a cup of chocolate because I can. All right. So, sorry. Sidetracked again. Where are we at for time? Oh, coming close. Okay, so, questions. Hold on a second. I'm gonna try. I absolutely did not do a good job of keeping track of questions, but I'm going to do another video, so don't fret. There's just so much to cover in one period, but I do have a short list here. No, that's not a good list. Hold on, real quick. Oh, hold on a second. What's this? Okay. 1 second here. Let's try to find some K-Dub says. I can sum it up. The Owens are full of horse shit. I do not disagree. And Bacon Boot says hey, the power company doesn't like news stories of elderly people dying because they shut off the power. I would imagine they don't, especially in Arizona where people retire and such. So I absolutely believe that that is the case. Okay. Hold on here. I'm trying to find my questions real quick. Un momento. Get a library card. There's that. Hold on. When did I say? Oh God, that's too far back. Here, I know how to find it. Where am I? Big dog. Come on. What? Oh, hello. Spelled that wrong. Okay. Here we go. All right. Yeah, so somebody had asked about the equipment. For like for the horses and stuff, the horse equipment that they have to keep the horses. And yeah, that wasn't listed. I don't know how much of a question it is, but it wasn't listed. It's frustrating as fuck that they don't seem to like again, it's better to be honest about things that don't make you look so great than hide things that you think make you look better. And if they didn't learn that lesson the last time around, I don't know how to help them. I think the last time around, although their trustee filed some pretty serious, demands on them. So I can't say they didn't learn, or didn't. I don't know. I don't think these people are taking it seriously, regardless. So I don't think the consequences of not doing the things they're supposed to do ever comes into play for them. Like they don't care. That's what I think. And then yeah, like so this was a good one. So Jan filed a claim against her brother saying basically that he owed her $590,000 in the probate case, which was dismissed, but she still, technically, if she thinks she's right, should have a civil claim against him for that amount in her head. But she didn't disclose that here. So that's funny. Like, okay. Sorry. Let me see. What else? Hold on. Where'd it go? Give me a second. You guys love this when I do this. Okay. It's a fun time trying to find messages from myself in a channel where I don't know, a dozen accounts show up as being Big Tiff Dog. We had a fun time that night. Okay. Let me go to this one. How do you make all your unsecured debt go away. Is that fraud? I'm not saying it's not. So Howland Services, having seen that house on Google Maps, I'm not sure there are 7 horses there. Some may be in livery. So they're saying, because there's more than 7. I guess you could, they have stalls to fit 7. They have, I think, 11 stalls, which is insane, but they shouldn't be storing 7 horses there for sure. But I think they do have their horses stored elsewhere that is also not disclosed. But anyway, Laura testified at her MOC that they support her 100%. Do they have to disclose that as it is their voluntary choice to spend money on her that could be used to pay off creditors? Yep. We didn't see that other than the maybe mention of $2,400 for home health care, but not it's 5 stalls. Potato. From the sky it looks different to me, okay? Who needs details? Definitely not housing 7 horses there then. I don't know. I just know it's a very small space. It's irritating to me that that's what they say. Yeah, they should disclose anything that they're paying anybody. Because, so chapter 11, back to that. So chapter 11 is a little different than chapter 13 in that your creditors get to decide whether or not your plan is viable. I mean, obviously the court has to approve everything in the end all, I'm certainly assuming. But yeah, if the creditors don't like the vibe, it doesn't go through. And also, well, I'm not going to say that part because I don't want to give them ideas. Okay. Can Queen Jennifer ask how Looters was paid? Or is that off limits since this isn't Laura's bankruptcy? But then again, Jan pays all of Laura's expenses, so maybe she can ask. I think that it is a fair game question. Goosebump. You saw the irony in that? Who needs details? Big Tiff Dog, the financial detail queen. And yeah, this is just, Tony says they don't care what the creditors say. This is just a stall tactic until Laura's trial is over. I don't even know if it goes that deep. I just think it's a stall tactic, period. Like, I don't even think that, I think it's coincidence maybe that the 2 things are running simultaneously, but I don't think that it is a factor for them. Okay. Is the JP Morgan suit on hold now because of the bankruptcy? Yes, everything has stayed. Every collection attempt has stayed. Technically, could a creditor still attempt to collect against them because they weren't technically listed as a creditor in this case and therefore weren't technically notified? Yes, maybe. I think that's a gray area. However, the 2 dockets are cross-referenced. It's my official cross-referenced. So whenever I say cross-referenced in a comment, you can imagine me doing that. They are notified, like all the creditors in the chapter 13 are notified of everything that's happening in the chapter 11. At least they should be, as kind of a fail-safe to make sure that this kind of bullshit fuckery doesn't happen. Okay, hold on. Will be done shortly. Okay. So, where'd it go? Yeah. Oh, and then somebody asked about Zillow and Redfin saying off market, like it's not technically listed, or somewhere it said that this auction was rescheduled to July 28th, I think. I don't think any of that can be considered as factual right now. what we can rely on is that eventually when the case is dismissed, and again, dismissal does not mean an end of any kind of investigation or consequences. A dismissal just means, hey, this case was filed in bad faith, and the creditors can resume collection activities while we, the government, still continue to investigate these people for what they said here. But anyway, what was my point? Oh, what we will see most likely is another filed notification of sale. I think they could technically get away with not doing it, but they probably will, just for crossing their T's and dotting their I's. Oh, maybe a quick overview of what a normal BK under this chapter looks like. Yeah, that's the thing. So as I said, that would be great. However, in this kind of chapter, there is no typical, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but there's so many variations of how these work, especially with people with, whether they have large business interests and entities or small ones. There's like this whole plethora of how a case can play out, and I don't think that I don't think there's a norm, so to speak. Could be wrong. I do, yeah. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll see. I believe that we will see another meeting of creditor style questioning coming from Queen Jennifer towards Ron and Jan. I think it will be absolute fucking fire, and I can't wait for it. I'm kind of more excited about that than seeing them let the house go, which I really do. I'm not saying it to be mean. I think they should let the fucking house go. But yeah. Oh, here we go. How many, Zoe says, how many other chapters of bankruptcy can they still try in the future? How many chapters in this bankruptcy book? I mean, Chapter 7 isn't really an option for them because they're behind on their mortgage. So they wouldn't be able to keep the house under Chapter 7 unless the lender worked out a separate agreement with them. And I don't see that happening, being as far behind as they are. I don't see that happening. So, oh, here, let's get rid of that. I don't see that happening, but I think that's it. Is just 7 for individuals, because 12 is like something else entirely that I don't remember exactly right now. Hold on. Where'd it go? I just had one pulled up. Let's look. 12 is, hold on. Let's go back to this real quick. Family, farmers, and fishermen. Okay. Chapter 12. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Family, farmer, or fisherman with regular annual income. That's what a 12 is. Okay. Ooh, sorry. Lost you guys. Sorry. Yeah, I am ready for it. I am ready for it. I am ready for it. And I, again, will say that all of my opinions are uneducated. I can only go by what I know about these specific people. Luckily, I have a frame of reference for their prior filing. Yeah, so fun fact, I had to look into this before. It's not horse. It's not a farm. Like, I know it's named Forte Farms, but it's not a farm. It doesn't qualify. So Don't forget she rides nearby trails and parks. I mean, how would I know that? I don't know that. I hope so. I hope that's the case. I've not heard that before. Um, I hope that's the case. I hope they're getting exercise. Here in my area of Michigan, which is suburban but mostly rural, we we have people who ride their horses down the street. Oh, she texted Clayton that. Okay, so it's a lie. Okay. I was like, I hope so, but I don't remember hearing that. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I just think this is an absolutely absurd, insane, uh, potentially perjurous filing that may have some consequences for them. I don't I don't I don't I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it because I don't I don't understand. I don't understand not letting the house go. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand it. I I don't. Um I don't understand it from a financial self-preservation standpoint. I don't understand it from a protective standpoint. As far as, protective of their family members. I don't understand it. I don't understand why you would want to keep a house that is costing 70% of your monthly income to just pay the debt on. Just to pay the debt on, not even for maintenance and all the other stuff that goes with it. Let it go. I know. I should let it go. And as Zoe said, the only question left to answer is, are they poor yet? Yeah, um, I think they're broke but not poor. I would like to know if they're not paying the utility bills. Um, because you would pay your what do you call it? Emergency bills, right? If you had a dire financial situation, you would make sure that you had certain bills paid, um, like your mortgage, your house, your utilities, your food. Um, they don't seem to care about those things. Just how much longer they can delay uh what's going on. The inevitable. Sorry, I'm trying to read 3 different chats right now, and um it's not working out for my brain very well. Yeah, I don't see. They don't have. I mean, clearly they've not had a good shell game so far, right? All the shells are lifted. We see what's underneath. So, and yeah, I think that's part of it. Derek says if they let the house go, they are admitting that they are no longer rich. Yeah. Again, I think that that's easily something that can be explained in your pity party story about medical disasters and such not. So, yeah, I just think they should let the house go. Yeah, shut off the internet. You're clearly still paying the internet bill. I guess if you don't have a consequence for not paying a bill, do you pay it? I guess if you're in the Owens family, you don't. I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. I don't know. Okay, sorry. Wow. How long will you guys hang out and listen to me say I don't know? The number's dwindling, not very long. Yeah, and let's talk about this. We've got Barry's fees and whatever, all these subscriptions they're clearly paying for. It's crap that the priorities are not where they should be. It makes me believe more and more that Ron and Jan are paying for the legal fees. I know that's like, oh, obviously Tiffany, but I mean, I believe Sarah was. So, um, I don't know anymore. Where is that money going? And why is every single, almost, I would say more than 50% of this filing is wrong, inaccurate, missing information. I'd be concerned about that if I were her. Ooh, kind of like, okay, so she signed away the rights to her story for criminal defense, kind of like Casey Anthony did. That makes sense. Um, do you think Rand is kicking the can down the road, waiting for John to kick the bucket? That's a good one. No, I don't think there's any money in him in that happening. I just don't. Um, we need to make friends with the local libraries in the area. First of all, you guys should be friends with the local libraries, and have them report if LO starts camping out there daily to use free internet. Okay. No, that's fine. Let her camp there. I don't care. Um, Everybody should go to the internet, including Laura Owens. Internet. Wow, my brain. Um, Everybody should go to the library. She went to the law library a lot when she was suing Greg. So, um, yep, he is still paying life insurance at $1,500 a month. I highly doubt that policy is worth anything valuable, but I could be wrong. Okay, I'm gonna be done here, guys. I'm sorry. But my brain is clearly hitting a wall. And I wanted to cover more stuff, but yeah, I think this will be interesting. I don't know. I don't know. Get your library cards, folks. That's a fact right there. Oh, cool. My boys are signed up for the summer reading program at our local library. Amazing. I love that. I love my library. My librarians are amazing. I had to return 2 movies that I rented for the grandbaby, and they were much late. And they were like, no fees, we just want you to bring them back eventually. And I was like, but you got to give me some shame, because if I don't have incentive, negative reinforcement here, I'm not going to bring them back. I'm going to be like, it's fine. They like me. You got to tell me, like, and so she looks at me and she goes, shame, shame. And I'm like, that's all I needed. Thank you. So, yeah, that's all I got today, folks. I wanted to have a little bit more in ways of statistics and whatnot, but I just didn't have it pulled together. So this is what we did. A lot of nothing and a lot of missing and a lot of insanity. Okay. I will be out for it again. I know that. I just don't know when. It's been a rough summer so far, and it's not even summer. Oh, that's cool. Ms. Wing says our local library is doing a free lunch program for kids this summer. That's amazing. I like that a lot. A lot of WTF. Yes, indeed. Yes, thank you guys. Okay, for real. I'm getting off here. I appreciate you all. Get a library card, and I'll see you soon.